Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. I would like to begin by thanking Deputy High Commissioner, Special Rapporteur, and all the member states for their words of sympathy and condolences for the devastating earthquakes in the eastern Afghanistan and for the victims and the loved ones. Mr. Vice President, we welcome the thorough report presented by Deputy High Commissioner here. It documents with clarity the deliberate policies, edicts, and practices of the Taliban that have created a profound and escalating human rights crisis in Afghanistan. This report must be read as a call for action for member states to urgently consult, coordinate, and act. This call, Mr. Vice President and colleagues, is critical and demands attention because, number one, of the creeping normalization and the recognition of Taliban by a number of states in the region particularly. And the second, a development which might have gone unnoticed, that on the 15th of August, with a mere oral order, the Taliban's supreme leader ended the 4 years caretaker period for their government and just announced that their regime is no more caretaker or interim. So without any due process, without any concern for legitimacy or a public support process, the Taliban have established a full-fledged theocratic totalitarian regime. And unlike some in the international community who thought that this process transition from interim to a full-fledged government might involve some reform and inclusivity, that opportunity is also lost. The crisis goes beyond the gender persecution as alluded in the reports. It's an entrenched, multi-layered system of oppression that corrodes the fullest spectrum of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights. Our girls have been excluded from secondary schools for the 4th consecutive years. Our women have been banned from universities since December 2022 and are now prohibited from medical training and participating in sporting activities. The so-called law on propagation of virtue and prevention of vice entrenches these restrictions, mandating even concealment of women's vice is enforced by over 3,000 morality inspectors. As the CEDAW committee has cautioned, this systematic erasure from the public life may constitute gender apartheid. As also alluded by the High Commissioner in his this morning statement, that the 4 years after the Taliban returned to power, the erasure of women and girls from public life is almost complete. The violation extends far beyond this. Arbitrary arrests, including those forcibly deported from the neighboring countries of Iran, Pakistan, Turkey, and the others, and enforced disappearances, torture, and extrajudicial executions have become routine. Public execution and corporal punishment persist. Freedom of expression is crushed, with journalists detained, tortured, and silenced. Religious and ethnic minorities, especially Hazara Shias community, remain target of systematic attack at their places of worship and education. Non-Muslim communities like Sikhs and Hindus have all but disappeared due to the fear of persecution. Persons with disability, human rights defenders, journalists face relentless persecution. Our children, including boys, are also victims of this institutionalized oppression, and their suffering must not be overlooked. Our economic and social collapse is dire. Poverty worsens under the Taliban rule and was intensified by displacement, natural disaster, and dismantling of public services. We are living through one of the world's most severe humanitarian crises, made even more unbearable by the recent earthquakes. Today, more than half of the population requires humanitarian assistance, and nearly half in acute food insecurity. Mr. Vice President, this is not a collection of isolated violations, but a deliberate system of violence and institutionalized by the Taliban to dismantle civic life, erase women and minorities, and entrench unaccountable power. The report confirms that our country faces a total human rights crisis. To restore dignity and protect lives of Afghanistan, this Council and all members must act with holistic, firm, and collective response. And I thank you, Mr. Vice President.